It's August, and that means Halloween has begun at Disney World. That's right, on select nights now until October 31st, you can experience Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom. To help your family decide if this special ticketed event is right for you, we will give you an idea of what you can expect from the ride wait times, parade, to
our not-so-scary Halloween party,
to the stage show,
Come in!
fireworks, character meets, exclusive food and merchandise, and so much more. And yes, of course, for the kids, all the details for getting that trick-or-treat candy. There's a lot to see and do, but don't be scared. We'll make sure you come prepared. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party can sell out, and already did for some days, such as actual Halloween night and Friday the 13th, but there are still plenty of days left for those who want to experience the party. It was sold out on opening night, so when we show you the wait times later, you will have an idea of what to expect at maximum capacity. If you are wondering about the cost of a ticket, it does change depending on the particular day. Party hours will always be the same though, from 7 to midnight. You can actually enter the park as early as 4 p.m. if you have a ticket to the event. None of the party activities will be available yet, but you can still try some of the food items that are available all day, or see attractions that will be closed during the party. It is Halloween, so get out your costumes. There are some rules. For kids, basically they just can't have a mask that covers their eyes. For adults, nothing obscene, nothing that looks like a real weapon, nothing that will obstruct other guests, such as a dress or cape that drags on the ground. Adults are not allowed masks, though a half mask may be okay. Devin's costume last year featured one, and the cast members approved it. Do be aware it is Florida. Even at night, temperatures will be in the 80s, so try to keep your costume comfortable. As you can see, Ian went as Maximus, but we didn't try to make him wear a horse costume. As a toddler, he was never going to wear something on his head anyways, and sometimes parents, that struggle isn't worth it. When you arrive, you receive a wristband. Be careful with these because if your kids pull on them, they can get painfully tight, and there's no way to loosen them again. Kids under 3 don't need them, and we wouldn't recommend it for them. You'll also receive your event brochure with a map that tells you when and where all the party activities are. After following the signs and walking through the welcome area, you'll eventually also receive your treat bag. And your first piece of candy to get you started. Once inside, you will wonder, what should I do first? The answer is, get that castle picture. If it is something you want, get it right away. Because later, your kids are gonna fall asleep, or you'll get too sweaty, or they will spill food all over themselves, or just be tired of wearing the costume. Get the picture when everyone has just arrived, looking and feeling good. You can get special magic shots here and at other locations around the park, with some featuring special scenes or props. Unfortunately, Disney does not include these in the ticket cost. You have to purchase a memory maker or buy the downloads individually. After the castle picture is out of the way, your night is possibly going to revolve around 3 major scheduled events: the parade, stage show, and fireworks. The Boo to You parade is first at 8:15 p.m., with the second run at 11:15. Those with little kids will likely want to try for the earlier parade, as there's the risk your kid falls asleep before the second one. It's also just nice to get the scheduled events out of the way, so you don't have to worry about it later. People will begin to start grabbing spots for the parade early, so if you want a prime spot, you will have to claim it quickly. We personally feel like we never have enough time at the party to do all that we want, and so that limited time is too valuable to spend sitting and waiting for long. We waited almost half an hour for the parade to start, and we regretted it. Don't get me wrong, the parade is really good. But we felt that lost time later, and a less ideal viewing spot might be worth it. With time saving in mind, we do recommend trying to watch the parade in Frontierland, because that's where it starts, and so you'll actually be done watching it several minutes before the people on Main Street are done, and you can more quickly move to your next activity. This of course assumes though that you don't want to camp out at the hub for a spot at the next scheduled event, the Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular. This will be offered at 3 different times, and also a 4th early time beginning September 29th. These times include a midnight show as the park closes, so you can maximize some time by trying to wait until the very end, though there is still a sizable crowd then too. But this show is not a priority for us. It does feature some classic Disney villains, but it centers around Hocus Pocus characters, and our small kids are not familiar with this, nor have they seen Nightmare Before Christmas. It has singing and dancing and some pyrotechnics, so the show may hold your little one's attention, but it isn't really aimed at young children. The final scheduled event is the fireworks show, the Mickey's Not So Spooky Spectacular, with one show only at 10 p.m. Now this does star Mickey and friends, but despite the name, there are some elements the little ones might find spooky, like skeletons coming at you, ghosts dancing around. Get close enough, there's even a giant Jack Skellington puppet, so use your discretion for where you want to view this. To see the projections, you do have to be in front of the castle, and you will be among a great mass of humanity, though some less claustrophobic spots may be found in the back by Crystal Palace. If you don't care about the projections and you just want the fireworks, there are many places you can view them from, including behind the castle, where you're really going to get the loudest booms. Another option, of course, is to take advantage of the opportunity to hop on rides at this time, many of which can still get you glimpses of the fireworks for a whole new special experience. Speaking of rides, you're likely wondering what the wait times are throughout the night. If you come early, you may be alarmed that when the park closes for regular guests at 6, the wait times in the app will disappear. Don't worry, they will return at 7, and Parents Rider Switch is still available for you, but otherwise, there are no lightning lanes or virtual queues, and you won't need them. We found that even on a sold-out night, wait times were well below average. We would just show the biggest rides, but everything else was a walk-on all night. Tron and Tiana's Bio Adventure did have longer waits though because they're newer rides. Make sure you ride Tiana's early, as it tends to go down, and sure enough, was unavailable at the last hour. Haunted Mansion was near its normal park day average of 40 minutes, though it did become lower during the second parade that more adults tend to watch. But look at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that normally averages over an hour. At the very end of the night, Fiona and I waited just 10 minutes. And Space Mountain with a special Halloween overlay was still below its normal average of 50 minutes, and a complete walk-on in the last hour. Mad Tea Party with its Halloween overlay was never above 5 minutes all night. The bad news is the Halloween ride overlays are pretty lousy at Disney World. Teacups just changes its lights and music, and Space Mountain just turns its lights completely off. While it definitely makes for a fun experience, it obviously doesn't require much effort on Disney's part. Those two ride variations are all that will be different from any other time of the year. The only other attraction that is different is Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, which does forgo its usual comedy sketch for 5 hours of live comedy entertainment with a Halloween theme.
Did everybody get all the candies? Yeah, who thinks they got the biggest bag of candies?
This is appreciated, as you could sit here for a while and really enjoy a whole night of laughs if you wanted to.
Hercules. How you doing, Herc? Good. They got your candy in all the bags? Yeah, that is a big bag.
There are some other special entertainment offerings as well. In Adventureland, the Rusty Cutlass Pirate Band plays music. Fiona's a fan of Jake and the Neverland Pirates. If your kids are too, you should be sure to check this out. She danced to the music, and we were even invited to join the crew. Later, you will find more pirates wandering this area and interacting with guests.
Trying to look at my map? Hey, it's a private treasure map, you know.
You know, you should take that out of the paper before you eat it. I'm just putting that. Isn't it better if you take it out of the paper?
The Cadaver Dans will perform in Frontierland, and later, the Hitchhiking Ghosts from Haunted Mansion may appear here too, by the way. But if a dance party is more your thing, then head to Tomorrowland, where you will find the Descendants Party at the Rocket Tower stage, or the Disney Junior Jam inside Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe. Honestly, this Disney Junior Dance Party may have been the highlight of the night for us. While there is a Disney Junior Dance Party regularly at Hollywood Studios, it doesn't offer as much interactivity with the characters as you're gonna get here. Fiona got to dance with Doc McStuffins and Timon, and later Fancy Nancy and Vampirina would also appear. Really, the DJ is another character himself. A well-deserved shout out to him for giving it 100%, even into the late hours of the night, doing a great job getting these kids pumped up and moving. The kids went wild, singing and dancing to Taylor Swift. Millennial Mother Gothel loved playing piano to Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles.
Come on, y'all. You guys are doing good.
Ian's pretty much fallen asleep at this point, but we all love this dance party, and Fiona probably could have just raved here for 5 hours straight and felt like she got her money's worth. But there are plenty of other chances to meet characters around the park too. The brochure will tell you where to find them, but even more helpfully, you can look on the app to see both locations and the times they will appear. Unfortunately, wait times are not listed, and some of the characters, like Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, can have lines that stretch up to a couple hours. Most are more reasonable weights than that, but you will have to prioritize any that might be your personal favorites. Now, wouldn't it be Halloween without trick-or-treating? As you walk between these rides and characters, you're also going to see these glowing signs that indicate a treat spot. There are 15 of them around the park, and you simply get in line with your bag and the cast members give you a scoop of candy. There's no limit to how many times you can do this. In fact, you could just go in the same line over and over if you want to. Different lines do not have unique candy, they all use a mixed bag of treats. Some lines are longer than others, they all move fairly quickly. You may find they are shorter later in the night. As you can see, we literally ran through this one when we came back later. Some also offer a couple of treat spots at one location, such as Mickey's PhilharMagic.
Trick or treat. Mom, Dad, candy? Dad, you want candy? Some extra for Dad.
Which is also randomly playing the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad inside. Although maybe not so random, because I later ran into him outside. But back to the candy. Yes, you can basically get as much as you can possibly carry out of the park if you want to. If you plan to get a lot, bring some extra container to empty your bags into. A cooler would be ideal, as it can keep your candy from melting in the heat. We got this one at Hollywood Studios. It's pretty awesome. Just remember that loose ice is not allowed, so put your ice in bags or use an ice. If your child has an allergy restriction, you can get this teal treat bag when you enter, and at the trick-or-treat stations they will give you a special token. These can be taken to the Chamber of Commerce next to Main Street train station, or to the Liberty Square ticket office. There they can be exchanged for allergy-friendly snacks. We will let you in on a secret though. You can collect more tokens if you find it more fun. We took just one, and they were awesome enough to still give us a whole bag of treats. If you want something more to eat than just candy, there are literally dozens of exclusive food and drink items for sale. Now there are 3 table service restaurants open, but we wouldn't recommend spending your Halloween party time on that, unless there's really no other way you can get that Cinderella's Royal Table reservation. But putting aside those table service locations, and only considering quick service restaurants and food carts, there are 34 unique items to try that are only available at this party. You'll have to try one about every 9 minutes if you want to get to them all. We tried just a few, and found them real hit or miss for us. Our first stop was Pecos Bill's. The massive flatbread was messy, and other than the sauce on top, it didn't have much flavor. We couldn't taste the butternut squash at all. We wouldn't get this again. Fiona was excited to eat the spiced moose bar. Or at least the candy spider. We liked this item better than the flatbread and had a rich chocolate flavor that paired well with the orange, though we wish this was available outside the party, because with all the free candy, you may already have all the chocolate you could want. The guava lemonade also had a spider on it. Ian wasn't as eager to eat it.
You want to try it? You want to try the candy spider? No. Alright, I'll mumble eat it.
But this was another miss for us, as there wasn't enough guava flavor. It tasted more like a very tight pink lemonade, and we wouldn't buy this again, either. Over at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, the corn dog was the best of the food items we tried. The deep fried batter was perfectly crisp. It was a decent sized dog. With great flavor, and a nice crunch from the cheese snacks on top. You do have to like Dijon mustard though, and if you get a full bite of it, this could be quite spicy. We would buy this again for sure. At Anti-Gravity's in Tomorrowland, Devin found the Witch's Cold Brew coffee. Did have nice pumpkin flavor, but overall it wasn't sweet enough. She wasn't a fan, though the caffeine served its purpose of keeping her going. She wouldn't buy this again though. As for the candy corn sundae, corn-flavored soft serve might sound gross, but surprisingly wasn't bad. It basically tasted to us like corn pop cereal in ice cream form. Candy corn is a divisive food, but we like this. We're not something we would buy again. The novelty of such a unique item makes it memorable and worth trying. A Cosmic Ray's, the Sinister Satay Burger was what we were most intrigued by at the party, but it ended up as the biggest disappointment. It was a good peanut flavor at first, but then a strange aftertaste we can't describe, except other than to say it was very off-putting, and we regretted this purchase and would not recommend it. Fortunately, the pot roast sandwich made up for it. It doesn't look pretty, but the meat has that great roast beef flavor, and there's just a touch of the horseradish, so it isn't overpowering. Don't be turned off by the black bun, which doesn't taste any different than a regular bun. This is an item we would get again. The final dish is the witch's fingers. Great theming here, if you can get past eating fingers. It feels a little bit gross to eat a fingernail, to be honest with you. This nails the green apple flavor, so if you're a fan of that, then this is right up your alley. The cookies themselves I found fairly dry and flavorless, so you definitely need that dip. And while we wouldn't get this again, we also did not regret giving such a fun treat a try. You also see this Mickey popcorn bucket for sale over near the castle, though you may have to wait in quite a line to get it. And this Minnie Mouse Hocus Pocus sipper was actually sold out by the time we got to Sleepy Hollow, where you could purchase it. And there was also other unique event merchandise at either the Emporium on Main Street or Star Traders in Tomorrowland. We recommend the latter for a much less crowded experience. You can hit up the Emporium on the way out of the park, but expect it to be at maximum capacity. Here are some of the special items you can take home for a party souvenir. So should you buy that party ticket? We hope we gave you some useful information to help you decide, and if so, help us out by hitting that subscribe button. But we would say that if you were coming to Disney World for the first time and you can only afford one day at Magic Kingdom, we would not recommend the party be your only experience. There is a lot to do, in fact more than you can fit into that 5 hours, but it's also ultimately only a partial experience. There are several attractions and shows in the entire Tom Sawyer Island area that are closed during the party. If you are ever able to make a second or third trip to Disney, that's when we would recommend Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It does allow you to experience the park in a whole new way. A different parade, a different stage show, different fireworks, different rides, not really, no, but different character experiences. And the costumes make it a great people watching experience, though unfortunately less than half of the people wear costumes to this early event. I guess not everyone has picked those out in August. You know, your kid's probably going to change their mind by October anyway. But we will say with one exception. If you are coming to Disney World, whether a first trip or not, and your only concern is riding every ride, then this party is worth it. There may be a couple you have to ride when you enter before the party starts, depending on what's on your list, but during the party, the wait time is going to be low enough that you are likely going to be able to ride every single available ride if you focus on that goal. And this is without having to strategize what's virtual queues, or single pass lightning lane, or multi-pass lightning lane. You just get in line and ride it again if you want. No tricks, just treats at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.